Thanks for coming at such short notice, Mary.
Not at all, John Joe. I had a feeling you would want to see me.
Right, well, I wouldn't normally go in for this mumbo-jumbo, but with the churches closed, I couldn't get to see a priest to see what he thought about it. It's just that the government keep changing things for no apparent reason, so I need some idea of what the pub's reopening might look like, so I can plan accordingly.
Have faith, John Joe, and I will reveal all.
No, Mary, please. Oh, I see what you mean. I didn't even know you could read tea leaves.
Nor did I, John Joe, until one week I drank so much tea I didn't sleep for 6 nights, and on the 7th day I started to see things at the bottom of the cup that you would not believe.
I thought the whole point was that I am supposed to believe this.
You're right, John Joe. Oh, sorry, John Joe. I've just finished your cup of tea too, leaves and all.
Oh, for feck's sake.
But fear not, for I have these.
I didn't know you were good at tarot cards.
You didn't know I was good at cards until I took you to the cleaners at poker. Anyway, the time has come for me to reveal your destiny. I shall turn over 7 cards for you.
7?
Yes, it is a number with great spiritual significance. It took our Lord 7 days to create the world, and you will be creating your own new world in the bull's arms. There are 7 virtues and 7 deadly sins.
Like from the film, 7.
Which comes from the Bible.
They didn't have films in the Bible.
The 7 joys of the Virgin Mary, and the 7 sorrows of the Virgin Mary. 7 brides for 7 brothers. And you, John Joe, are you not the 7th son of the 7th son?
No, I've 5 sisters, and I think my father was the youngest of 15.
Oh, magnificent 7! Show us what the future beholds, this gentle beast. Death!
Thanks, Mary. You've just reminded me there's something I need to take care of later.
My pleasure, John Joe. The Fool!
Give me your money. I said, give me your fucking money. Hey, no need for that language, son. I'm not giving you any money. I don't even know what you're collecting for. What? Collecting? Can't you see I'm robbing you, old man? I'm wearing a fucking mask. Well, that doesn't mean anything these days. Everyone's wearing them. It's not intimidating anymore. It would make more sense if you took it off. You'd be more rebellious, more dangerous if you did that. Otherwise you're going to have to keep explaining yourself, like adamant. What? Like stand and deliver shit? I'm surprised you understood that at your age. Well, I'm surprised you know it at your age. Anyway, I know who you are now. I can see your face. You live at number 43. Now clear off or I'll tell your mother.
The Hermit!
Jesus, what took you so long?
Some wee shite just tried to rob me. I thought I was going to get stabbed.
Okay, never mind that. Did you order my Guinness? I've nearly finished this one. God, Liam, I've missed this. I haven't left the house in weeks.
Why was that, Joe? Were you shielding?
No, it's because this place was closed. I'm a free man, Liam. I won't be restricted by restrictions. And it was even harsher back home. You couldn't even go more than 2 kilometers. I tell you, I wouldn't let them take my freedom.
And when were you last 2 kilometers from the house, Braveheart?
Not for a few years, but 'tis not the point. If they'd banned ice skating when I was a young man, we'd have had an uprising.
And what's with the jewellery? Have you finally stumbled on a betting system that works, huh?
Well, in a manner of speaking, I have. Since all sporting events were cancelled, I haven't lost a penny to the bookies. That's my system, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I bet you that gold chain you won't be able to keep it up.
You're on, John Joe. You're on.
Well, that was easier than I expected.
Anyway, how are things at home?
Very strange, Joe. Very strange. I was feeling like a caged sheep, and one day I found an old mucky book in the shed, and I was flicking through it, and Teresa walked in.
I'm surprised she hasn't kicked you out. She's a very tough woman.
Well, I told her I was testing my eyesight.
And she believed you.
Well, she agreed it was a more plausible way of testing your eyesight than driving to that bastard castle.
True. But I think it's pronounced Barnard.
And then she confiscated it.
She didn't throw it out.
You're right, Joe. That is odd. Come to think of it, I'd never seen it before. And I've never even heard of Rita's husbands. And I booked her a holiday to make up for it.
A holiday? That's very extravagant.
Don't worry, I've got it all worked out. I'll get a refund when I cancel it. I read that in the paper.
I think they're allowing them to go ahead now.
Bollocks. And I was only trying to do the right thing.
But all's well apart from that.
Everything's grand, Joe. I try not to worry. If God decides it's time to meet me, then so be it. Oh God, no!
Hello, Liam.
Mrs. O'Leary, I didn't recognise you there for a minute.
It might be the hair, as it's a little longer than usual with all the hairdressers being closed. You know, I've even started calling the whole thing the Locks Down, as it's grown so much.
Finally, he is risen. Did you wet the bed?
The sun!
What are you talking about? I've been up since 10. Had a meeting.
I don't understand why you call them meetings when you don't actually meet any people. Anyway, I suppose I'm to blame for this laziness. I must have spoiled you as a child.
More like you spoiled my childhood.
And what's with the trolley? Did you mug an old lady?
Nah, it's just a load of flour and bog rolls I'm taking back to the shop for a refund. I worked out I'd have had to bake about 5 loaves a day to get through all that.
And how many did you bake?
None. I don't know how.
If he'd ate anything he'd cooked himself, he'd have had to use all that toilet roll too.
Because you not have got the missus to bake for you. I haven't seen him since the lockdown started.
Will you ever stop answering to that?
Who's pissed all over the floor of the toilets? We've only been open a feckin' hour.
It's not my fault. It's them posters on the wall behind the urinals. If they remember to keep 2 metres at all time. I can't piss that far.
It means keep 2 metres from each other, you idiot, not the feckin' toilets.
Well then I should say 1 metre, not 2.
You still wouldn't reach that far. Anyway, it's because I can't keep up with all the government's rule changes. I'm not bloody psychic. It seems like Noah's the psychic I saw.
So what other changes have you made then?
Well, there's hand sanitizer on every table. Liam!
Sorry, John Joe.
I bet you're glad they reduced it to 1 metre though.
The Empress!
Well, he might be, but I'm not. It might mean some of the creeps in here can't touch me anymore, but I'll still be able to feel their breath. Mind you, it'd need to be 10 metres before I couldn't smell it.
Now there's a face I missed. I bet you've been bored the old time too.
Well, Jimmy, as a nurse who only works here to top up my measly wages, I can safely say no, I have not been bored.
I was supporting you the whole time, Sinead. You know, with that clapping thing. We had great crack on our road. We had a good drink up and an old sing-song.
Thanks, Liam. If I'd known you were getting shit-faced while I was treating patients, it would have brought me no end of comfort.
Am I able to get a drink at the bar?
Only if you're drinking this.
What is it?
Lager.
Well, yeah, I'll have a pint.
You'll have to have 3. It's a yard glass.
Go on then. Do you want a yard lager as well?
No, I get confused by imperial measures. I'll just have a pint.
I'll bring it over. If everything else is table service.
I've been saying we should have table service for years.
You've been getting fucking table service for years.
Well, a bit of credit for the idea wouldn't go amiss. Anything else we need to know?
So I was going to have different time slots for different age groups. I had you down for the daytime and your dad down for the evenings.
Well, that's no good to me. I want to come here in the morning and sit being miserable all day. That wouldn't work for me neither. I couldn't face being in here all day. I just want to come in here in the evening, have a few pints and feel depressed.
And what have you got to be depressed about?
Well, the fact that I'm sitting in here of an evening.
Well, I scrapped that system anyway. I didn't think I'd be able to get 2 lots of 10 to come in here at all. But I'll be introducing a booking system instead.
Well, I won't be booking to drink here.
You lot don't need to. Until things are up and running, I put the usual suspects down for every day. I just need 4 more to fill the remaining slots and I have a full house. Mrs. O'Leary, do you mind staying until someone else turns up?
Not at all, John Joe. It's nice to be out of the house.
Thanks, Mrs. O'Leary. I'll make sure you're the first to be released. Bingo. Oh, and no one can leave unless there's 10 people in here.
I suppose I could come in here for a few days. I mean, I'm still working from home. Actually, I never really want to go back in. I'm a bit worried about that fruit left in my drawer. If I open it, I'll probably find it's mutated into something, and I'll end up unleashing something far worse on the world. Did you ever consider opening the beer garden as well?
What, the bins?
Yeah, I suppose so.
There's no point. You can only fit 4 people in that space, and that's when they're stacked up on top of each other.
I told you we shouldn't have come here. Don't you remember what happened the last time?
Well, the bicycle in quinoa was fully booked.
It's my fault. After what I'd seen on the news about the lockdown season here, I assumed all those involved would be in prison. But that doesn't appear to be the case.
You're right. This was a mistake. Let's just slip out of here quietly.
Sorry, lads. You're not barred, so you're not going anywhere. Now, what can I get you?
You know you can take it off to drink.
Yeah, but I like wearing it. It's made my life so much better.
What do you mean?
Since I've been wearing this, women don't walk away when I approach them. Now they wait till I start talking.
Blimey. That's depressing.
Oh God. Sorry, you gave me a fright. I'd forgotten what you looked like. Well, at least you guys had no problems getting masks. I had trouble getting them even on the ward.
The devil!
Fear not, Sinead. I have just what you need.
Thanks, Belfast John, but I'm not sure this will do anything for me.
Well, it's doing something for me. Mind you, not as much as my own one does. Mommy, mommy, mommy! I thought you'd turn up. Lovely to see you too. Not for you, it isn't. I'm a changed man. I've had lots of time for reflection, and a mighty fine reflection it is too, I may add. I've turned over a new leaf, and I bet there's dog shite underneath it. As they say back home, the troubles are a thing of the past. Any powders I may have had, I managed to sell as flour when that was at a premium. Mind you, It wasn't hard to convert, as it had a very high flour content anyway. Won't you give a man a second chance?
You've had more chances than a monopoly factory, but it could do with the numbers.
Thanks, John Joe. You won't regret it.
John Joe, we need more hand sanitizer on Liam's table.
Just put the feckin' vodka bottle there, it's cheaper.
I don't understand this new obsession with washing hands. I was raised on a farm, and if you're out in the fields, you couldn't wash your hands before you ate every time. Come to think of it, you couldn't wash them after you went to the toilet either.
And I read everything's okay after 72 hours, so you can never be more than 3 days dirty.
Is that so? Well, from now on, any time I bring someone back to the house, I'm going to lock them in the bedroom for 3 days before I touch them. And I might get my drugs sent to me by second-class post.
So what else you been up to?
Well, I've never spent as much time outside as I did in the lockdown. Normally I just sit in the house, but I even started running.
That's the spirit. Positive mental attitude.
Yeah, but now I'm confused, because I run, cycle, walk and drive. I'm not sure which group I'm supposed to hate, but whichever one it is, I'm in it. And I tried putting rainbows in the windows for the NHS, but I kept getting strange men coming to the door.
Did you do anything nice that didn't turn to shit?
Well, someone told the police my uncle was visiting, so I told them he was a prostitute, because I think you were allowed to have visitors as long as they were getting paid. And since then, they've let him off 3 times for speeding.
Hey, no fighting here, not anymore. Social distancing, remember?
Sorry, John Joe. I was using a pool cue, but I've broken both of them.
Who are you fighting with?
Some bloke. Says he's doing a patrol to make sure you're following the government rules.
Government rules. In that case, you can borrow this. Just make sure you don't break it.
Thanks, John Joe. I'll take good care of her.
Sounds like John Joe's not too happy with the government. But then Boris Johnson has been making more mistakes since he had coronavirus and then that car crash.
A crash?
Yeah, a security car hit him when some Kurd got in his way.
Who's that? Little Miss Muffet?
More like Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Joe. I thought you'd be here. When you finish that, I'll come down to the house and make you dinner.
Thanks, Mary. That's lovely. But I'm not sure we're allowed people in the house yet.
Don't worry, Joe. Jimmy's invited me to bubble up with you, so I can come and go as I please.
Thanks, Jimmy. I'll remember this. That's all right, Dad. My pleasure. You deserve it.
And to celebrate our bubble, I'm going to make bubble and squeak from my leftovers. Although I'm not sure what's in it. They haven't collected the food recycling from mine for quite a while. Although it did bubble when I put it into the bag, and I'm pretty sure I heard something squeak too.
Right, I'll just check the bicycles out to see if the tables come up. And I might try and call the police too.
Ah ha 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 ha.
Not again.
And I think another one of them's flipped.
What will we do with a drunken sailor? What will we do with a drunken sailor? What will we do with a drunken sailor?
Don't worry, lads. It's just one of the new rules. I saw that you might have to limit the number of people on the dance floor, so I made it one person has to be dancing at all times. I was very tired when I wrote that one, but I'm not changing them anymore.
Hey, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises.
One of you will have to take over, as I'm not sure his heart will take much more.
Right, I'm off.
Sorry, is one out, one in.
Tied up with a black velvet band.
Well, thanks for this, Mary. I'd forgotten how shite things were before they turned shite, and it looks like no matter what I do, they'll go back to being shite again.
No, John Joe, there's one more card to turn, and I fear if you do not act, it will be curtains for the bull's arms.
Temperance!
Abstaining from drink.
Bollocks. I hadn't thought about that. People may have got so used to the pubs being closed that they've stopped drinking, or in the case of some of my regulars, cut down a little. I'll have to do what I can to get them back up to speed as quickly as possible. Right, everyone. To celebrate our reopening, all drinks are on the house.
About effing time.
Another tea, please, John Joe.
You can have your drink back, lads.
Oh no, they'll get even worse now.
There'll be something going on if there's nothing going on. There'll be something going on if there's nothing going on.